Are Sasquatch interdimensional beings? From everything that I have experienced, and I have had multiple experiences that speak directly to that fact, that they are, in fact, interdimensional beings. By definition, an interdimensional being, or extra-dimensional, suggests an entity that can time travel and move out of the physical body and into a spiritual one. That's definitely, undoubtedly the case with the Sasquatch people. Time travel. Well, for the Sasquatch, there is only the now. For us, in fact, there is only the now. But the Sasquatch people have the ability to access the past and the present in the now moment. And I've had countless experiences where they have done exactly that. For example, they will know something that I discover and already be communicating with me according to that knowing years before I consciously know myself. This is a fact, and I'll get into a couple examples of that in this video. But yeah, interdimensional, they can travel in many forms. They can travel in orb form. And I actually had an experience that spoke of an omnipotent being who came together out of orbs and collected into one big omnipotent energy. And it was evident to me when it was going on that these orbs or aspects of this being were coming in and gathering from different points of consciousness, which speaks to the fact that this entity, this being, can be here, there, and everywhere, literally. Much in the way that they describe the abilities of God. No, I'm not saying that these beings are gods, but they are highly evolved, energetic beings, and they understand energy and have all these interdimensional aspects that are described. A couple examples of the Sasquatch people's interdimensional capabilities are as follows. And I mean, this is an intense education between myself and them, so there are so many examples. But I'll give you a few that speak of this. Now, like I said, the past and the future don't actually exist. There is only the present moment. And the Sasquatch people can access everything in the present moment. And that is why, as teachers, it's a great advantage to them because of this ability to access the past and the future and the present. They have proven to me, without a doubt, without any question, and with numerous examples, that they know what I'm thinking or what I'm going to do before I even formulate the thought. Now, one classic example of that is with the glyphs. I've come up for the meaning of many of them because it's personal between you and them. It's direct interaction between you and the Sasquatch people, and the meaning is personal to you. And so, for instance, with the Y glyph, I came up with the meaning man, Sasquatch, connected. The two prongs would represent the man and the Sasquatch. The shaft is the connected. And so when I see this glyph, they leave this glyph as a standalone glyph or in conjunction with other ones that they, they mix together to form a sentence or a more expansive thought. Just a more detailed way to communicate with, like a sentence has words in it. And so each one of these glyphs that are woven together has a thought or a word or a meaning associated with it. And, you get a number of them together. It's, you can see a big picture kind of meaning or how they all form together to relate the message, much like a sentence. I document all my glyphs. And there's a reason for that. The reason is because when you look back at them after the fact, sometimes years later, you have a much broader understanding of what you're looking at. And so you can look back on them and say, that's what it meant. So it's very important to document glyphs or whatever. I use them as a teaching tool, as an education tool for myself, and of course to share, with people. And so there's countless examples where I would come up with a meaning for a glyph, for instance, the Y stick, man, Sasquatch, connected, and then be looking back on photographs I had taken years prior to that understanding or coming to that agreement with them, and without question saying, oh my God, they already knew that I was going to come up with that meaning, because they were connecting with me according to that meaning, weaving it into other messages, that it just stood out. It just like, there's no question. They knew I knew man, Sasquatch, connected was the Y stick years before I even came up with that. That's just one example. That's how it works across the board with me. And so that speaks of, no time, being able to access time in the future, in the present, and the now, an interdimensional ability. So they definitely have that. There is no question about it. I've explained it in better detail and in specifics in some of my other videos, but I'm basically just talking about why the Sasquatch are interdimensional beings, and that's one of the reasons why they definitely are. They can appear anywhere that they want just with a thought. They can appear in my room with just a thought. They can appear in across the country with just a thought. They communicate with each other telepathically. Everything is energy with them. We are all energy beings, and they have a very, very detailed, complex understanding of energy and how to use it. A good example of how a thought followed by the answer appearing right before my eyes was shared with me by a very dear friend that I trust and know to be authentic and have a real relationship with the Sasquatch. And it's a possible explanation as to why things can seem to appear right before my eyes, out of thin air, or how I can have a thought and then the answer, like I said, will be right there. And what this lady experienced is she was with her Sasquatch people and they were at a concert. I guess they were with her energetically or in whatever form they were. I'm not exactly sure how that happened. But she was with them and she was at a concert and they showed her something significant that speaks of this, of the interdimensional abilities. and explains, or a possible explanation for a lot of the things that I have experienced. And what they did is these concert goers were all frozen into place, like they were like wax statues, just like, you know, Madame Tussauds, not moving, frozen in time. And she was moving amongst them. And if she had wanted to, she could have placed things at their feet or done all kinds of things that when they came out of this state, which they would not be aware of, they would not be aware that they were in that state. They could look and see things right before their eyes or pretty much whatever anybody wanted to present to them, because they had the access to be moving around them and interacting and leaving things while these people were frozen in that state. And so I think that in some cases, in my experience, when I've thought something and I see the answer right there, or things of that nature, that's a possible explanation. And of course, you know, when the people came out of this Madame Tussauds state, if you want to say it like that, they were not aware that they were in that. To them, time was seamless. It was just like one moment to the next. So think of the advantage and the teaching possibilities that a non-impotent interdimensional being could utilize if they had that ability to freeze you and then work around you for the sake of lessons or whatever the purpose. So yes, the Sasquatch are definitely interdimensional beings. They can be anywhere they want with just a thought. And like I said, time is not linear for them. They can access the past and the future and the present. So are the Sasquatch interdimensional beings? Absolutely. Are they highly evolved spiritual teachers? Absolutely. Are they family to me? Absolutely. And everybody has their own experience, their own way of being taught if you have a connection with them. It's all unique, all original, based on that individual's skills and ability to learn. Sometimes it's more hands-on, sometimes it's subtle, and sometimes both. But yes, they are interdimensional, and if you have an opportunity to have a relationship with a Sasquatch, which you would initiate with respect, then these lessons and these things are possible for you too. And you know, you have to remember too that if you have an interest in Sasquatch, a lifelong interest, and you just naturally have that respect and just kind of a deeper understanding of who they are, but you don't really know why, it's probably because they're already working with you and they just haven't introduced themselves yet. So if you're getting that pull to go to the woods and introduce yourselves to them, there's a reason for that. And you know, I wouldn't suggest taking cameras or anything for the sake of or for the purpose of snapping pictures of them. I take cameras because of the glyphs, because it's part of my education and just how it works. But I don't purposely try to take pictures of them or trick them. And obviously, if they know what you're thinking or what you're going to do before you do it, you can't trick them. So they're in charge out there. So yeah, I wish anybody luck and nothing but goodwill who wants to forge a relationship with these wonderful people. And it'll be the most rewarding, enlightening experience of your life with these amazing interdimensional beings.